What a beautiful day it is here at Schmeeckley Reserve today. The sun is shining, it's warm, a nice warm breeze blowing through the air. If only I didn't have to look at a bunch of dead leaves and dead branches. This would be so much better. Hello everyone, my name is Lana Podusky and I am a practicum student here at Schmeeckley Reserve this semester. Today for Under Our Feet, we will be looking at leaf litter. Leaf litter is often seen as an eyesore since it's a bunch of dead branches and dead leaves. But leaf litter is scattered across the ground we walk on, aiding Schmeeckley Reserve's residents and its ecosystems as well. Today we're going to start off by looking at what is leaf litter. Leaf litter is composed of tiny pieces of dead plant material. This is things such as leaves, branches, twigs, little pieces of pine needles all scattered across the ground. Leaf litter will be scattered across the ground until it finally decomposes. Each piece of dead plant material decomposes at a different rate from each other. So come and join me along as we take a closer look at what the leaf litter is made out of. Here we just got your basic leaves, as you can see. We have some pine needles if you zoom in a little closer. And of course we have our bigger pieces of dead plant material. Now we know what leaf litter is made out of and what it can range from leaves to twigs to some even bigger branches as well. But why is it important? Why do we keep it around? Leaf litter contributes to the health of the ecosystem around here. Leaf litter serves as a protective layer on top of the ground, and it helps from keeping the soil dry out since it blocks from the direct sunlight. It also helps regulate the ground temperature for any plants that might be starting to grow underneath it, and it can even help with some erosion factors during a rainstorm as well. Decomposition, which I mentioned briefly earlier, helps play a big role in how the leaf litter helps contribute to the health of the environment. Decomposition is just a fancy way of saying rotting or decaying material. So as the leaves, the branches, the twigs, the pine needles are starting to decay, nutrients are being put back into the soil and put back into the system, so new plants are able to use those nutrients. So decomposition happens in 3 stages. The first stage is what you can see here. It's just the top observable layer of the leaf litter that you see just as you're walking by. The second stage is right underneath, closest to the ground. As you can see, it is starting to decay even further and starting to ferment as you get closer and closer to the ground. You can see it's even tinier pieces. And finally, we have the very end of the decomposition cycle here with the last layer, where the dead plant material has now become soil. The soil made from the leaf litter is a thick, dark soil which is rich in nutrients. You can see that at the very top of the image here with the very dark black soil. So leaf litter puts nutrients back into the ground for new plants to grow and to aid in the plants that are already growing. But what about the little creatures we have scurrying around Schmeeckley Reserve? How does leaf litter help them? Leaf litter helps build the ideal home for creatures all around Schmeeckley Reserve. It provides a nice protective layer from the elements such as rain, cold, wind, things like that. So you can find a variety of different creatures living in leaf litter, from salamanders to toads to snakes to little creepy crawlies like ants, pillbugs, millipedes, things like that. I invite you to take a moment, go outside, walk around your own yard or park nearby to see what kind of animals or creatures you can find living under the leaf litter right by you. Now let's take a look at one of the special creatures you can find in the leaf litter here at Schmeeckley Reserve. American toads are easily identifiable by their distinctive warty skin and brown or greenish coloration, as you can see here in the picture. Toads can be found in a variety of habitats and prefer those with moisture, which is often somewhere near a body of water. During the day, toads utilize the leaf litter of the forest. They seek refuge in the leaf litter to remain cool and damp. The leaf litter also provides a great hiding place for the toads, as well as an unlimited access to insects for food. Leaf litter is a great home for many animals here at Schmeeckley Reserve, from something like the American toad, which we just talked about a little bit briefly, to something as small as a ladybug. Overall, leaf litter is scattered across the ground we walk on, aiding Schmeeckley's residents as well as its ecosystem. Leaf litter is composed of tiny dead plant materials. It is helping with the health of the ecosystem here at Schmeekely, and finally, it builds the ideal home for the residents of Schmeekely Reserve. Schmeekely Reserve is the perfect place to discover what is beneath our feet, so I invite you to come over and walk the trails and see what you can find while looking at the leaf litter. I challenge you to try and spot some kind of animal trail running through the leaf litter. It could be something as big as a deer trail or something as a tiny little mouse trail running through. Thank you for joining me on this journey to see what is underneath our feet today in the leaf litter.